You know, I just might have a sleeper wheated bourbon for you. Something I had on my shelf for a while, and I grabbed it the other day, and I'm like, man, this is not bad, and especially for a certain occasion or a certain time of the year. I'll put it that way. But we'll get into it. This is Redemption Wheated Bourbon. Let's get into it. So, Redemption, the brand, is really owned by DOH Family Wine and Spirit, which is pretty much a company of wine. I'm not a big wine person, but some of the wines that they own is Yellowtail or Layer Cake. They own a couple of gins as well. Maybe if you heard of what is it, Gray Well Gin. So they own quite a bit of different types of spirits, but they purchased Redemption brand back in 2000, I believe it was 2015, and it is an MGP product, but they own the brand. So this is actually distilled at the infamous 172-year-old distillery in Kentucky by MGP. Now the brand, the wheated version of this came out in 2017. Yeah, I believe that's right. 2017, they introduced the wheated version of Redemption. Now I say the wheated version of it because, fun fact, the name Redemption, the reason why that name is there is that they wanted to bring back the prominence of the rye whiskey in the world. Because before or prior to the prohibition, rye whiskey was the top dog out there, right? You know, it was outselling bourbon. It was the number one seller. It's reversed now. It's all about the bourbon. Then whiskey is like the little brother that comes in second. But it wasn't like that before. So they want to bring that back, which tells me that they must have some pretty good rye products and some pretty good high rye bourbon products, right? So I want to really get some of those products on the show. But today, we're going to deal with the wheated version because, as you all know, I am a wheat head. Wheat head. Let's make sure we get that right. You know, WHEAT head. Okay. So, like I said, I think this is pretty good. One thing I like about this bottle is they put the mash bill right on the bottle. So it is, let's see here, 51% corn, 45% winter wheat, which is a high wheat content for the most part. Normally, most wheated bourbons aren't that high in the wheat content. So that tells you that this is going to be really sweet. And then 4% malted barley. Very little spice should be in there. And I believe the age is around the 4 year mark, 4 years of age, and it is 96 proof. Okay, so let's just dive into it because what I get out of this is some really nice, light, and refreshing notes. Very refreshing, very light, but some flavor. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the nose. See, that first sip, first sniff, you don't get a lot, but as you continue, that those flavors start coming out, and some of the flavors I get is a nice honey taste note on the nose, and this is a 4 year old, so it's kind of youthful. So I get a little grain with this, but not off putting. Okay, it's not off putting, but there is a grain content. But pretty much that honey is the in the forefront. I get a slight, very slight coffee bean. It's coming through with some caramel and that light fruit, like a nice grape or a type of some type of yeah, I think a grape, a white grape or the, like the green grapes. Get a slight hint of oak and I think I'm getting some white pepper. So overall, it's a soft nose. It's not complicated, but it's very fruit and honey forward. You know, it's not bad. It's pretty good nose. And I believe the MSRP on this is maybe $40, something like that. I always forget to look that up. If that's wrong, you know what I do. I'll leave it somewhere. But maybe about $45. All right, let's go to the palate. And see, with that high wheat content, man, you just get a lot of sweet notes like candy, sweet potatoes. Um, you get that fruit. I think that light grapey fruit, berries. You get a nice spice right on the beginning of the palate, but it's not coming off with young ethanol taste to it. But it's a nice spice. Maybe just that white pepper because it's not overbearing, but it's there right on the top, at the tip of your palate. You also get a nice bread note, and again, I think that's coming through with that high wheat content. You get a nice doughy bread type note. It's pretty good. White pepper, oak. You get a lot of caramel mid palate. Mm. Yeah, it's not bad. And the oak is there. For a 4 year, I think for what they have here and for the price, like I said, I think it's a reasonable price. Somewhere 40, $45, somewhere around there. This is pretty good. The finish, it's not bad. It's still there. It lingers. It's not a heavy finish, but then again, we talk about a 96 proof. So, you know, you may not expect that heavy duty finish, but it's a nice finish um, that brings in some really nice notes, maybe this butter, cream, caramel type of note that I'm getting on the finish, along with that white pepper. Okay, and it's just sitting there. And you get a slight burn going down. You get that slight Kentucky hug, maybe not a hug, maybe a shoulder bump, like I'm with you right there, you know. So I think it's pretty good. I think this is good bourbon. Now, when I said earlier that I think this is a good bourbon for a certain time of year, I can see this as a nice summer sipper, you know, because for me, I very seldom use ice, even in the summer. Okay, so I think this is light enough. It's refreshing enough. Like those nice grapey and honey notes. I think it's a good summer sipper where it's not too heavy. The proof is good, 96, because in the summer, I don't know, for me, I don't want to sip on something that's 130 proof. It's just too hot for that, especially here in Michigan. It gets pretty humid and hot. So I'll look for something like this to sip on. I think this is a good buy. Well, let me know if you tried this. It's something I would, when I run out of this, I will purchase again. Got the summer coming up. I'm gonna be on that grill making my briskets and listen to my jazz and blues and whatever else we come my way. A little Frank Sinatra, and just have a nice time with it. What do you think? If you have you tried this? Have you tried any redemption products? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, let's discuss this. But I want to thank you for joining me. If this is your first time tuning in to the Bourbon Shop, welcome. I appreciate you tuning in. Do me a favor, smash that like button. That does a lot for me. And hit that subscribe button so you can see more content coming out. And as I always say, the best way to enjoy your bourbon is to drink it the way you want to drink it. The best way to drink it is in a responsible way. Thanks again for tuning in. I will see you next time on the Bourbon Shop. Summertime.